Then 29 runs between Munson Hodge and Devon Thomas. But then thereafter, the partnerships fell away. 5 between Hodge and Carty. 9 between Hodge and Hamilton. 6 between Peters and Hamilton. This delivery is an appeal, not out, says the umpire. 1 between Taylor and Hamilton. And of course, this partnership here, current, between Damien Jacobs and Jamal Hamilton, has so far yielded 20 runs. So here is this delivery. The batsman is playing it away, wanting a single sent back by Jamal Hamilton as it goes down to a short fine leg position. The fielder is posted there. So there is no run. 223 it is for 6. 223 for 6. Here is Permal, and this delivery is played defensively again by Damien Jacobs. This time the ball coming off the inner portion of the bat, and there is no run. Permal, who's bowled quite a bit in this second innings, here is he tossing one up, and driving is Jacobs out to the mid-on fielder, who looks to be Tajnarayan Chandapal, who might have to come to the crease again in the Guyana second innings if the Leewards were able to go past the follow-on total. Here is this delivery coming forward and playing it defensively. Doing the right thing, pushing right out was Damien Jacobs and getting back to ball. The ball going down on the inside, and there is no run. So the end of the over has come up. It's over number 29 for Veersawin Permal, 29 overs, 10 maidens, 55 runs, 3 wickets he's had so far. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes here, 223 for 6.
Yes, Denmo, I don't see no reason why the Leeward Islands should not pass that, you know, that score that was put before them, because there's really no monster in the pitch. It's still a good pitch for batting, you know, and I think Jamal Hamilton has this one, you know, to take on himself as the captain and do something good. And with the assistance from Jacobs, who is capable with the bat, you know, he as well would need to do something that he would have never done before.
So they're going to need to put on a lot more than the current partnership that they have going if they're really going to do, as Anthony Martin says, something that they've never done before. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes, we really thought that the way that the opening pair batted, that they would have really gotten to that score with ease. The opening pair, Munson Hodge got 62. Kieran Powell got 99, was unfortunate, trying to probably go for that 100th run, found the edge and was short of a century. Here is Reefer to start a new over, and Hamilton is driving but not timing. The ball coming off the inner portion of the bat, closing the face probably as he was looking to drive that one, and the ball coming off the inner portion of the bat, going on the onside instead of the offside. He was looking to push that one through extra cover. Maybe the shot that he's rehearsing now, if he had just pushed it rather than really going for that expansive drive, he might have been more effective, because there were acres of space in that extra cover region. Reefer comes in left arm around the wicket to bowl to Hamilton. That one goes past the bat. Hamilton just pushing the bat at it and missing it outside the line of the off stump. Walks away from the stumps, trying to keep his composure so that he can do the job today for the Leeward Islands. 15 came from Devon Thomas. Casey Carty continues a poor match. He didn't score in the second innings. Jamal Hamilton is not out on 21. Jason Peters, who was demoted down the order today, he only made 2. Yesterday, Jakes Taylor 1, and of course, Damien Jacobs is there, not out on 6. That's the batting card so far for the Leeward Islands. Hamilton is driving out to deep cover and will get a run. So this time, effecting the drive, but hitting it straight to the fielder. No ball as well, called by the umpire. So the Guyanese continue to infringe that front foot rule. No balls. We see here they've had 10 before this one. So they quite a number. 11 no balls in innings in this day and age is quite a number, because low ball seems to be one of the things, especially in ODIs, that they're trying to eliminate with the with the advent of the free hit in the limited overs version of the matches, bowlers have gotten a lot more consistent, especially with overstepping. But the Guyana Jaguars have had some issues with their overstepping. Here is this delivery. And Jacobs is banging this one through the extra cover region. Gets one. The ball is running close to the boundary. Will be picked up just inside the bowler. Flicks it back. Jacobs wanted a third run, but Hamilton was very slow in running between the wickets. And it settled probably pretty early for 2. I believe he just wanted to keep Jacobs on strike and see if he can see out the over. So just 2 deliveries to go. Or
yes, that shot from 3? Jacobs, it was a bit eerie, but it was in the gap.
Reefer comes left arm over the wicket to Jacobs, and Jacobs is again driving at the delivery outside the line of the off stump. This time he hit it hard into the ground. Ball bouncing out to the fielder at that extra cover position, and there is no run. Looks to be Bishu who is posted there in that extra cover position. Bishu is the fielder who is posted there, as Reefer just retaking his guard, probably just not comfortable. We saw him overstepping already in this over, and of course he's there now, beginning to move in. He's coming in to bowl to Damien Jacobs, and he doesn't deliver, as he just didn't feel his rhythm correctly. Just as he was into his delivery stride, he decided to hold on to the ball. Umpire signals a dead ball. So, no damage done. 227 it is for 60 Leeward Islands, and they're approaching that 234 that they must clear to clear the follow-on. 7 runs required for them to do so. Here is Reefer in to bowl to Jacobs, and Jacobs gets a delivery that hits the seam, and you could see that one big past the bat outside the line of the off stump, angling towards the slip cord, and Jacobs played at it but didn't get anywhere close to it, and the ball will go into the gloves of the wicket keeper, and there is no run.
Yes, that was a good delivery, Denmore. From the no ball, that was a good comeback delivery, just outside the off stump and just moving further away from the batsman there. That was too good for him to get an edge.
Too good for him to get an edge. Those kind of deliveries, they say only the good ones nick those. Here is Jacobs getting one. He's on the leg stump, coming across of his stumps and trying to turn it on the inside. Only finds the fielder in that mid-wicket region, and they can't score. 227 for 6 at the end of that over.
Yes, Denmo, and you mentioned before about the no-ball situation. The Guyanese now have, 11 no-balls. Subtract 11 from 227. You have about 216 or so.
Right.
Somewhere there. You understand?
And so
looks so much
different
from
than 227. Right. So you don't want to be bowling that many no balls, especially in a 4-day encounter.
Exactly.
That's too many.
That's it.
And so on. And when you even look at it, the extras are 18. So they've also had 4 byes in 2 byes, 4-leg byes, 11 no balls, and a wide. Even a wide they've had in this encounter. So they've not been very efficient in terms of the extras, the Guyana Jaguars. But Smith is going to come on to bowl. For this, he's had 8 overs for 26 runs. Didn't get any wickets so far in this second innings. Had 6 in the first innings, Neil Smith. And he's going to come on to bowl for the Guyana Jaguars, hoping that he can clean up the tail like he did in the first innings for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. And the Guyana Jaguars dispensing with Pramal, who started from the Sir Curtly Ambrose end. So Smith. And he had success from this end in the first innings. We'll see what he can do in the second innings. Here is he in. This first delivery is pitched right up to the batsman in Hamilton, who's forward and driving, but straight to the fielder at deep mid-off, and there is no run. The Guyana Jaguars would be also looking around because there is still some clouds around, there rain coming in different parts of the island, and yesterday we saw a couple of stoppages here for rain. What might work in their favor, the Guyana Jaguars, is that the breeze is pretty stiff, so whenever there is rain coming in, it comes and goes very quickly. But we'll see Smith is here outside the off stump, and looking to crash it away was Jamal Hamilton, wanting the second run, but it's not on. He really turned and was beginning to look to motor down to that end, but seeing that the fielder had already picked the ball up, rightly turned back and got back into his crease and settled for a single. 228 it is for 6.
Yes, then that would have been a sure run out, because the fielder had the ball already and he was just turning. And since yesterday, I was asking for Smith to bowl from this particular end. And
not certain why the Guyanese chose not to bowl him from this end. That was a strange decision, because this is the end that he was most successful in the first innings. He begins a walk, starts with a little jog, and then gets faster as he approaches the crease. Here is this delivery, banged away through the offside. Is going to be 4. It was short of a length outside the line of the off stump, and just rocking back, Richie Richardson style almost, and cracking that one past the fielder at point and into the boundary for 4 runs. Good shot by Damien Jacobs.
Yes, good shot there from Jacobs. Smith was just guilty of being just a little bit too short and wide, so too much room, and the batsman capitalized on that. Good shot.
Really capitalized on that one. It was a good shot because he just rocked back. He didn't really try to keep it down or anything, just hit it hard and it went for 4. Here is Smith again, in past the umpire and bowls, a full toss, and driving is the batsman. It was right up to him. He was looking to push this one back down the ground, not timing it. The ball knocked down by the left hand of Smith on his follow through, and there is no run. 232 for 6, so it's just down to 2 runs for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes to save the indignity of losing the match by an innings. So in the next 2 runs, then the Leeward Islands will be giving Guyana Jaguars runs to play for. Here we watch as this is Smith in outside the off stump, looking to repeat that shot. This time he was down on one knee, was Damien Jacobs. He's beginning to get confident. He's rehearsing that stroke a lot. He was wanted to hit that one square of the wicket. The ball bounced over the bat and into the gloves of wicketkeeper Bramble, and there was no run.
Yes, and Smith would love to see the offer that James gave a while ago.
He would be happy to have him playing at those deliveries, especially that one being so wide outside the line of the off stump. Those are the ones that can nick and carry to the slip. Here is he with a short delivery. Getting on top of it is Jacobs, and playing it down into the slip cordon on the bounce, and there is no run. The end of another over has come up. The first from Neil Smith for the day, and the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, they have moved on to 232 for 6.
Yes, Leeward Islands going along quite smoothly, and Jacobs has developed some confidence now, so Hamilton, can feel real free of just rotating the strike with him, and it's 30 runs partnership already, so they would have to continue doing what they're doing and build on that and try to get to a half century and then assess from the half century partnership onwards.
Hamilton is going to face Reefer, who's coming from the Sir Andy Roberts end. He's on top and pulling this one down to the leg side. Another no ball signaled by the umpire, so Reefer is having his troubles with that front crease. Again, the 12th no ball of the innings for the Guyana Jaguars, and captain would not be pleased, so that erases the deficit. 234 it is for 6. So the Leeward Islands Hurricanes have erased the 234 runs they had to clear to put the Guyana Jaguars back into bat. So the Guyana Jaguars openers at least can start to think that we're going to have to strap those pads on again. And so anything from now for the Leeward Islands is going to be what we call broader. And they're hoping that it's a lot of butter that they get, Anthony Martin. They're hoping that they get a lot of it so that they have something to work with, at least for the rest of this match. Reefer comes in now to bowl to Jacobs. Jacobs is looking to force this one through the offside again. That ball seemed to have come onto him very quickly. The ball coming off the inner portion of the bat, rolling back along the pitch for the ball of the field to his own bowling. And
that one was too tight, Denmore, for that particular shot. He was trying to get that one into the offside, you know. I think it would be better off for him to just get behind that one and just defend it back to the ball.
That was a good delivery. That was too close to be looking to play an attacking stroke. Here we see facing up now, a delivery, and this time he's playing defensively back down the pitch for the ball of the field, his own bowling, and there's no run. You're correct, that ball was much too close to his body for him to be playing that forcing shot that we saw him attempt, and should have just been looking to defend that one and wait for the bad balls. I think that's going to have to be the key for the Leeward Islands, waiting for the bad deliveries and then capitalizing on them. When you get them, you put them away, but not trying to make bad deliveries for yourself. Here is Jacobs getting another no ball, covering up and playing this one on the onside, and this is definitely a problem for Raymond Reefer. Second no ball in this over, third no ball we've seen for the day from him. Not very good in terms of him and the front crease. We haven't seen him do any adjustment to those no balls, so he's probably thinking that he's doing something right. Maybe it's just a rhythm problem he's thinking in his mind, not necessarily anything to do with his mark, but just something to do with his rhythm. Doesn't look as fluent as we've seen him. This delivery right up to the batsman in Jacobs, who's driving down the pitch. The ball goes past the hands of Reefer, but there is a field at the mid-on position who is posted there, and there is no run. 2:35 for 8. So the Leeward Islands have a lead of 1-1 so far, as they continue to do battle here on the fourth day of this regional Super 50 competition, and quite a number of the matches are ending very well. We'll see how those matches go. This delivery is played defensively up on the offside, and there is no run. When we last heard the Windward Islands Volcanoes, they were 147 for 2, chasing runs for victory there, and also going well were the Jamaica Scorpions, who were 243 for 6, batting a second time. This delivery bounces over the top of the head of Damien Jacobs and through to the wicket keeper, and there is no run. So, still 2 slips in place and a gully, and then there's a man at point. Extra cover mid-off, mid-on, forward of square, and a man down on the fine leg boundary. That's the field for Raymond Reefer, the left-arm medium-fast bowler for the Guyana Jaguars. He's in, and this delivery, Damien Jacobs with an elaborate defensive stroke, covering right across and covering the delivery, playing it into the offside, and there is no run. The end of another over has come up, an over in which Raymond Reefer struggled with that front crease. The Leeward Islands have regained their progress to 235 for 6. More thoughts from Anthony Martin, then it's Jack Matthew.
Yes, well played there by Damien Jacobs. Nicely behind the line of that delivery. You know, keeping young Reefer out, not giving him anything. When you check it out realistically, Jack, the Leeward Islands are 1 for 6. Because they are 1 run in the lead and 6 men down. So there's 1 for 6.
And that's the tale of what has been a disappointing batting performance by the Leewards, especially in the first innings, folding for 154 after the opposition got 388. You're really asking for trouble, and that is the situation as we speak. They are 1 run ahead, but 6 wickets are down. Niall Smith is running away from us. Goes past umpire Tuckett, he's in. And here is a ball being slashed at outside the off stump by Jamal Hamilton, trying to hit it with all his might, but not being able to make contact. And taken by wicketkeeper Bramble. There's a sweeper at point. So I'm not sure if he would have been able to get a boundary for that, but he was really trying to smash it through the offside. Was aiming for square of the wicket, and it rushed by into the gloves of Bramble.
He could have left that, Jack, because that was only one.
Yes, and he was outside the line of the off stump, fairly wide as well. Niall Smith racing in to bowl to him, and he's driving into the offside, ball of full length, and he goes to that fielder at the square point position on the boundary, or square cover position, he feels, and the batsmen go through for an easy single. And with that single, it's now 236 for 6, with Jamal Hamilton, who got 52 in the first innings, going on to 25 and 12 to Damien Jacobs, who played a lovely shot early on. Tremendous square drive, smashing the ball away through the cover point region for a boundary. I think his highest score in first class cricket is 42. So he can bat, faces Niall Smith and gets a bouncer. Doesn't have anything to do with it, just ducks, just nodding the head forward and allowing the ball to go by, skidding down the leg side to be taken by wicketkeeper Bramble.
Yes, a good skiddy bounce there from Smith. You know, that one had a little bit more pace than the few deliveries before that to him. So he was a bit surprised by the pace. So he just ducked under it and tells Smith to come again.
And he turns below us in bright sunshine. And we still have this stiff wind with us. He's on his way, and it's outside the off stump. He's cutting at this, missing. Taken by the wicket keeper. That one, I think, was much too high for that stroke. He should have allowed that one to go by outside the line of the off stump. And Jamal Hamilton has come down to have a word with him. He seems to be now getting over ambitious in his shot selection, and really should have allowed that one to go by. Could have only nicked it to the keeper. As Denmo has been saying, the Windwards are in a very good position to force a win against Barbados Pride at Arnersville in St. Vincent. The Windwards needing 269 to win, 170 for 2. 170 for 2, chasing 269. Niall Smith, right arm over the wicket, and he's edging this. He's going to be caught. No, he's missed. The ball going in the air, the gully running back, trying there to get to the ball, not being able to do so. That looks to be Vijay Singh, and he found himself in a tangle going after that ball, and eventually lost his footing, and the ball fell away from him. But it was a lifting delivery. It's the second new ball taken after 81 overs, so the fast bowlers will be getting that extra bounce, and there was the batsman Damien Jacobs not handling it well, and it spooned off the perhaps the top part of the bat, close to the shoulder, and he almost lost his wicket.
Yes, and Vijay Singh should have taken that. That should have been a catch for the Guyanese. But however, you know, it works in the favor of the Leeward Islands.
Yes, he got himself into a tangle in and really lost the opportunity. Niall Smith will continue, and here is Damien Jacobs across his stumps and plays it into the onside, the last ball of the over. Testing one for the batsman Damien Jacobs. He survived. 236 it is for 6. Jacobs kept on 12 and 25 to Jamal Hamilton. So in that score of 170 for 2, with the Windwards needing 269 to win. Today being the final day of that day game at Arnersville in St. Vincent. Devon Smith missed out. He got 8. But his opening partner, Desron Maloney, hit 72. And Kabim Hodge contributed 60. Kirk Edwards, one of the franchise players in the Windwards team, is unbeaten on 19. So the Windwards 170 for 2. Look set to win that match unless there's a dramatic turn of events there at Arnersville.
Well, as long as they're not overconfident, that's all.
Raymond Reefer is in, and Jamal Hamilton gets a run as he gets on top of this shortish ball outside the line of the off stump and just caresses it down to the deep cover point position for Tajnarine Chandapal, just hitting that one with a horizontal bat. for his 26th run, 237 for 6. So that's the situation at Arnesville. You'll also keep you abreast of what's happening in the other day game at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force are meeting some opposition from Jamaica after they enforced the follow-on. Outside the line of the off stump from Raymond Reefer. Much better length this time. Better line as well. Closer to that off stump. And the batsman Damian Jacobs exercising good judgment, allowing that one to go by, to be taken by Bramble.
Yes, good delivery there from Raymond Reefer, just outside the off stump, and just going further away there from Damian Jacobs. And it was some good judgment there from Damian Jacobs as well, because he could have easily gone after that.
Yes, settles over his bat now, and here is the fast bowler Reefer on his way. Left arm over the wicket, and Jacobs is defending, just getting in behind this one, and playing with a straight bat. He goes out to Devendra Bishu, lurking at the extra cover position. Well, Jamaica, they were resisting for a while, but that resistance is coming to an end there, because they're now 243 for 6. 243 for 6. So they lead by 61 runs, Jamaica. So they could still lose that match at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Here at this Vivian Richards Stadium, Reefer is in, a short ball, and Damian Jacobs ducks, and it's taken by the wicket keeper. So 243 for 6. Jamaica batting a second time after being forced to follow on. They made 278 in the first innings in reply to TNT's 460 for 4. John Campbell made 28, 34 by Asad Fuddin. Jermaine Blackwood made 78, and Paul Palmer is unbeaten on 80. So they are 61 runs ahead, 4 wickets in hand, and we're in just about midway into the final day at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Defensive shot again. Once more, Devendra Bishu has to come into the picture at the extra cover position, and there is no run. So it could be a draw, or it could be a win for Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, but the good thing for Jamaica is that Paul Palmer is still in, and he has,
80.
Right, he's close to a century, so he should be in for some time and be seeing it, and should be able to manipulate the strike and try to help them to get a bigger lead.
Yes, he's batting there. Rodman Powell failed. He got only 5. He's batting with Alwyn Williams. So this ball is outside the line of the off stump, beats the bat. Not sure if he pulled his bat inside the line of the last ball. It gave us the impression that it went past the edge of the bat, and if he decided to remove the bat, it was late. I think it had already gone past. He kept a little bit low as well, and take my wicketkeeper Bramble. In fact, Derwell Green is the unbeaten batsman there at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad. He's unbeaten on 2. I think he got some runs in the first innings as well. So Jamaica still have much work to do there to save that match against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force.
Yes, and Jack Jacobs was beaten outside the off stump, that final delivery there for Raymond Reefer, but he tried to let us believe that he pulled the bat inside the line of that one, but he was beaten all ends up.
And Niall Smith looking to add to his good performance in this match, his debut performance as well. Ball turned away by Jama Hamilton. He's hustling the first run. I think he'll get the second quite comfortably, because the fielder on the boundary touched around Chandapal at mid-wicket, having to do a lot of running to do coming into the vicinity of the orthodox mid-wicket position, and therefore the second was had comfortably. It's now 239 for 6. So they have a lead of 5, with Hamilton on 28 and Jacobs on 12. Hamilton, 52 in the first innings, looking for a second half century. He faces the bowling of Smith, and here is he steering the ball away down towards the point position for a comfortable single, and that's his 27th run. That's his 29th run, correction. His 29th run, and the score 240 now for 6. The batsmen out so far: Monson Hodge for 62, Kyron Powell for 99, Devon Thomas for 15, Casey Carty, no score, Jason Peters 2, and Jace Taylor 1. After they were very well placed at 181 for 1 at one point, the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. But there were some quick wickets. And at one point, they lost 4 wickets for 20 runs. This is a short delivery, and there is Jacobs deciding not to play at it, allowing the ball to go by, to be taken by the wicket keeper. But after they were 202 for 6, they have had this partnership now of 38 runs between the captain, Jamal Hamilton, and Damian Jacobs, and giving the Leewards just a glimmer of hope. It's going to be a very, very tall order for them to force a draw in this match. They're going to have to bat deep, these two, and get support from the remaining batsmen. So Guyana, with the ascendancy, with the advantage, and a distinct one. And Damian Jacobs is defending, playing the ball into the offside. It's picked up by Raymond Reefer at that extra cover position. And Vincey Boyne has come in. Good afternoon to you, Vincey.
Good afternoon, Jack. Good afternoon to everyone. Interesting position here for the Guyana Jaguars as they are pressing home, trying to press home the advantage. The Leewards are, however, showing some bit of resistance this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. Partnership up to 38 runs so far. However, the lead is only 6, so effectively there are 6 runs for 6 wickets.
In the 11th over, none for 35, one maiden, Niall Smith. And here is a ball full and outside the off stump. And Damian Jacobs, a right-hander, does the right thing, allows it to go by, to be taken by Bramble. There are 3 slips and a gully in place. There's a point, an extra cover short, and there is a mid-on, a forward short leg, and a long leg. So an attacking field being employed here for Niall Smith bowling to Damian Jacobs. Smith uprooted his stumps in the first innings with a brute of a Yorker. It was a swinging Yorker, and Jacobs had no answer. So he would be mindful of that. Taps at the back of the creases. Smith comes in to bowl him, a short delivery, and Bramble has some difficulty taking it, and it will go very close to the boundary. It crosses the rope now, and the signal of 4 wides come from umpire Carl Tuckett. So that was hammered into the pitch. It climbed, and Anthony Bramble tried desperately to pull it down, but could not. And the ball went behind him for 4 wides.
Yes, 4 wides indeed, but I'm sort of concerned about the tactic that Niall Smith has employed in this second innings. He has tended to be on the shorter side this second innings, and I don't know if it's a ploy by the Guyana team, but if it's a strategic ploy on their part, I think that that it's a bad ploy, because in the first innings he picked up his 6 wickets on bowling full-length deliveries, and I would think he has enough pace. He has the pace certainly to do so, and he has the movement to do so, and I think he has the discipline of good control for them to employ a fuller length to try and knock over these final 4 wickets for the Leeward Islands.
Indeed, because he bowled at a full length in the first innings, got 6 wickets, 6 for 55 in 16 overs, and he's yet to get a wicket, and this is his 11th over, and he's conceded 35 runs. And probably it's not the ploy of Guyana, because the captain, Leon Johnson, has come up and has had a word with him, perhaps directing him to the plan. Here is a ball which is a full length. Loud appeal is out. LBW. And precisely what was recommended by Vincey Boyne. It was a ball full, in line with the stumps, and Damian Jacobs was beaten by it. He was across his stumps and trapped in front. The finger of umpire Carl Tuckett went up. So Jacobs, he has been dismissed. LBW to Niall Smith, who has picked up his wicket for the 2nd time in the match. He has departed for 12. It's 245 for 7. Effectively, they are 11 for 7, the Leewards.
Well, yes. I mean, I recommended that he should carry the ball up, and as soon as he did so, he was successful. Now, you said that it cannot be a Guyana Jaguars ploy because
I didn't say cannot,
well,
it may not be.
Maybe not a Guyana ploy or a Guyana Jaguars ploy because the captain went and had a conversation for him. But this is his 11th over, and from his 3rd over yesterday, when we were watching him, he had employed a shortish length tactic to the batsman, and consistently so. And I'm saying, if it was not the ploy of the team, someone should have spoken to him a lot sooner and said, look, this was what brought you success in the first innings, let's go back to that. And as soon as he did it, maybe the captain recognized that that was the case, came down and said, hey, look, let's go back to what brought his success in the first innings. And as soon as he did so, bam, immediate success.
As he's shown in the first innings, he can bowl that Yorker length delivery with great effect.
Yes, and not only that Yorker length, but tailing into the batsman, which can create some problems, especially if the balance of the batsman is not right. You can have him falling over, which is exactly what happened there. The batsman was sort of falling over, trying to play, keep the ball out, and was hit plumb in front.
That was the last ball of Niall Smith's over. Raymond Reefer begins another one from the far end, and it's turned away by Jamal Hamilton into the onside, goes away towards the forward square leg position. He takes the single, and so the new batsman Colin Archibald will be the man on strike. In the first innings, he had his stumps shattered by Niall Smith. It was a brute of a delivery as well. He was bowled, not offering, and so with Smith operating from this end, Archibald would really be mindful of the fact that he did commit something in the first innings that he would not want to repeat in the second should he face Smith. At the moment, he has to contend with Reefer, who comes in left arm over the wicket, and the batsman is playing and missing outside the line of the off stump. Not playing with conviction either, just sort of swaying the bat at the ball, and it was taken by the wicket keeper. And I believe there's a long-range conversation taking place between himself and the captain. The captain has come a few paces up the pitch to say to him, remember that you have to play in a responsible manner.
Yes, and that ball just basically breezed the outside edge on the way to the keeper.
Yes. He's a left-hander, and here is Reefer into bowl to him, and he's slashing, and the ball goes to the third slip fielder. Did it go in the ear? Not sure if it went in the ear to the fielder at that third slip position.
I believe
but it was stopped as
yeah.
visual sing there, I think.
I believe it may have hit the ground before it got to the fielder, because no one really showed any sort of concern about the fact that he may have put down a chance.
So Reefer turns at the far end and will begin his approach in the course of his 13th over. And here is Colin Archibald getting a run, his first run, as he turns it towards the mid-on area. Virasamy Pamal came around trying to effect a run out, if possible, but not being able to pick up the ball initially, and the run was comfortably taken in the end. So the score has moved on to 247 for 7. And Hamilton on 30 comes back into strike. Reefer with 1 for 49, bowling his 13th over. In the first innings, he had none for 28 from 9. So he's picked up 1 wicket in the match. Goes past umpire Verdon Smith, and here is the Leeward Hurricanes captain just coming onto the front foot and stroking the ball down to the long off position and getting an easy single. And so it brings Colin Archibald back on strike, and the close fielders will come into play again with the lesser of the two batters out in the middle.
Yes, Jack. I also have sort of a concern in terms of the field placement. Yes, we understand that Hamilton might be the senior batsman out there, but why is it that they have a long on and a long off to the medium pacer when he's
Reefer
bowling?
is in and he bowls him. He plays on. And so that's the end of Colin Archibald getting a ball and a ball hitting the face of the bat and going on to the stumps. So Archibald walks back. He has been bowled by Raymond Reefer, and that was the final ball of his over. So he has departed for one, and the Leewards in trouble. They lead by just 14 runs, only 14 runs on, and 2 wickets left. So the end could be very, very near as far as the climax of this match is concerned.
Yes, we see Colin Archibald was there just trying to maybe push defensively, but did not push out firm enough, and so the ball came from his bat and went onto the stumps, dismissing him. And so he again has failed in this innings. I think he scored just 1 run and a 0 in the first innings. And the Guyana Jaguars now are actually on the hunt. They're smelling blood, and they expect to have this innings wrapped up. But I was commenting earlier on the fact that Raymond Reefer was bowling to Hamilton, and they had the long on and long off out on the boundary. And I'm wondering if the ploy is simply to give Hamilton the single so that they can attack the lower order batsmen, even though I don't think that that should really be the ploy employed. They're in a very good position to win the game, and so there's no need to get defensive as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's exactly what they did yesterday in the Leeward Islands first innings when Hamilton was batting with the tail. They literally gave him the acres of land to score the singles, and Hamilton decided to try and go for a big hit and held out to the long on region. Here is he in, and he's whipping this one into the mid-wicket region. Should get 2, gets 1, wants the second, but again, not good running, and then Boatswain was coming back down the track, had to go back, and they settled for just 1 run. So 249 it is for 8, 249 for 8. Hamilton is on to 32.
Yes, and I think Hamilton was at fault there. I mean, Hamilton knows that they're giving up the single so that they can get the strike to the lesser batsmen. And Hamilton, instead of running hard to try and get the 2 runs, was running and ball watching. And when Boatswain committed to the second run, Hamilton was in no way responding, and I think there was a second run there had he been more positive in running.
I thought both of them were quite slow because Boatswain took an inordinate amount of time to get down to the non-striker's end. Hamilton had reached down, but couldn't really pressure because Boatswain was slow, and then Boatswain was looking to come back. Smith is in to Boatswain, and Boatswain is backing away, just moving his feet backwards and putting the bat in the way of a full pitch delivery right up to the batsman. Can't score. Boatswain had, I think, the most resistance yesterday with Jamal Hamilton. Didn't score, but hung around for a few runs as Hamilton was able to score. One of the things, though, that I find that Hamilton has done, and maybe he can look at for future, is that with the tailenders, he often takes the single very early.
Yes.
He took it off the first delivery here. This delivery, Smith is running in, and then the ball just falls from his grasp, goes away into the offside field, where the fielder just picks it up now. So, just having a little bit of an issue with the ball here. That occasion, dead ball signaled by umpire Tuckett. So he will have to reload, we'll have to try again. 249 for 8, so 5 deliveries Jamal Hamilton has left for Boatswain to survive. Boatswain faces as Smith is in, and he's forward, playing a defensive shot, pushing it back along the pitch for the bowler to knock it down, and there is no run. So they now have 3 slips and a gully. Then they have a man at point, mid-off. Mid-on is short, a man at short leg, and a man down at deep, long leg. That's the field for Neil Smith to the tailenders, batsman, I should say the tailend batsman for the Leeward Islands. Hurricanes, just 1 wicket for Neil Smith in this innings. He had 6 in the first innings. Really was the wrecker of the Leeward Islands batting. Here is he in, and this delivery is knocking him over. Ball him right up to Boatswain. His feet didn't move. His bat came down late. The off stump is rocked back so to the middle stump. He has to go 249 for 9. And the Leeward Islands tail end going like they did in the first innings very quickly.
Oh yes, Denmo, that was a great Yorker length delivery. Now, it seemed as if it may have come off the inside edge onto the stumps, but whatever it was full, it was swinging in, tailing in into the batsman. I guess the batsman thought he could have gotten his bat onto it and played aggressively and missed completely and was knocked over. And here we've seen success again for the young man. As we said, as I was saying earlier, I was very disappointed in the mode that he took in terms of his bowling on a shorter length. And as soon as he has gone back to the fuller length deliveries, he has had success, and twice so far in 2 overs.
So he's gotten his 2nd wicket and would be surely hoping to get his 3rd. And this again just proves what we were saying about Hamilton giving too many deliveries.
Exactly.
To the tailenders. And from what I've seen yesterday and today, Colin Archibald looks like a genuine number 11. Doesn't look as if he can defend his wicket. And then if Colin Archibald, who looks like a genuine number 11, comes before Boatswain and Berridge, then they clearly, the thinking in the dressing room is that they're even worse off than he is. And so the Leeward Islands will have to also take that into consideration, that their tail will be very long if this is the kind of contribution that those last 4 batsmen are going to give. Yesterday, the 4 batsmen were all made naught. So none of them contributed to the scorecard today. And so far in this innings, we've had a similar situation where Damien Jacobs was the only one with a little resistance. His delivery right up again, played defensively by the new batsman in Berridge. There is no run. Because when Archibald made 1, Boatswain didn't score, and now we have the final man in Shino Berridge, and he didn't score in the first innings. And the Guyana Jaguars, I'm sure, are just expecting it's just going to be a matter of time before they clean up this final wicket for the Leeward Islands, and then they will look to go about going after those 15 runs that are set so far. Here we watch as this is Neil Smith. He's in and bowls a short delivery. The batsman ducks under it and allows it to go into the gloves of the wicket keeper, and there is no run. The end of the over has come up 249 for 9. How should Hamilton approach the innings from now on?
I think Hamilton certainly has to try and gather runs, but in the process of gathering runs, of the strike, because it is obvious that with such a weak tail or weak batting tail, that it is only a matter of time before the innings will be wrapped up. And if he can delay that for as long as he can, I think that is what he should do. Being the captain also, he would want to do that.
Certainly. So he now has to try and see how many runs he can get. Maybe he can even start to think about another personal milestone, another half century. Got a half century in the first innings. He's currently on 32, and he's literally been stuck on 32 for quite a while, or in the 30s for a while, and he's seen the procession of wickets at the other end.
And look at that. The only attacking player on this field is the first slip. And
So
I guess you would say the keeper.
They've spread the field. The Guyana Jaguars for Hamilton, and he's playing this one into the leg side down to deep backward square. Didn't attempt the run. So let me just give you a description. There is a man slip. Third man is on the boundary. Point is on the boundary. Extra cover on the boundary. Mid off on the boundary, which is long off and long on. Deep mid wicket, deep square leg, and a long leg, all on the boundary. So he has the whole field to himself, and he really will have to beat one of those. Here is he pulling this delivery out to the man at deep mid wicket on the boundary, and again doesn't look to go for any runs. So if he wants to score, he's going to have to hit boundaries. He's going to have to find the gaps between those players on the boundary.
Or go over them.
Or probably even try to go over them. Yesterday we saw him holding out to Barnwell on the long off boundary, trying to do just that. Here is he getting one outside the line of the off stump, was trying to edge this, to cut this one away, almost finding the edge. Reefer thought that he might have had him there, but just missing it as it goes into the gloves of Bramble. So there's no run. The score remains on 249 for 9. Hamilton is there on 32. The lead is 15. So the Leeward Islands Hurricane not having too much in the lead so far. So definitely they would have avoided the indignity of an innings defeat, but they're looking as if they're going to still be defeated. Here is this delivery almost keeping on the ground from Raymond Reefer as it rolls through to Bramble behind the stumps, and there is no run.
Yeah, the batsman felt a bit handcuffed because he came forward expecting, even bounce from that delivery, and it just rolled along. And that is compared to the delivery that he faced before, which had a bit of extra bounce on it. That he was sort of handcuffed in trying to guide it away through the offside.
Hodge 52. Powell 99, Thomas 15, Carty not, Hamilton not out 32. Peters 2, Jakes Taylor 1, Damian Jacobs 12, Archibald 1, Boatswain not. That's the batting card for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes second innings. Here is this delivery driven hard past the mid-off fielder for 4. So he went hard at it, the ball went almost straight to the mid-off fielder, but just as it got there, he took his eye off of it, and the ball missed his hand and went past him and into the boundary for 4 runs. Hamilton goes to 36 and a total on to 253 for 9. How would you approach the next game for the Leeward Islands? Do you see them making any changes to this squad?
Well, the interesting thing is that I'm not even clear on the full squad. Which players are available?
I mean, Django is out.
I think Django is out of this team.
And Henry out of this 13 that they had picked for this match. We understand that Terence Ward was carrying an injury for the first match, so he was not considered. Here is this delivery, and Hamilton will get the single. It was a short delivery, a poor delivery under the circumstances from Reefer. You could see what he was trying. He wanted to bounce it over the top of Hamilton, but it didn't get up high, and Hamilton just got on top of it, pulled it down, got a single. 254 for 9. We're going to have a break because of rain. The covers are coming on. The showers are coming from the eastern portion. The sun is still out though, so this might just be a quick shower. The groundsmen are rushing on with the covers. You can see the rain sheeting across the stadium, and I've said it earlier that we've been having rain around here in Antigua and Barbuda. Not just rain, but there's also a strong wind, as we see now is the situation with the covers. The groundsmen trying to get the covers onto that pitch, and it's going to be another fight for them. They've had these fights with the wind all match, and the rain is now coming on just a little bit heavier, but so we're going to have a stoppage in play. Let me just give you the Leeward Islands scorecard so far in this their second innings. Asked to follow on after making 154 in their first innings. Leeward Islands Hurricanes had Munson Hodge and Kieran Powell opening the batting. Munson Hodge was caught Leon Johnson of Pemal for 62. Kieran Powell was caught Anthony Bramble off the bowling of Keon Joseph for 99. Devon Thomas was caught Lynn Johnson off Pramore for 15. Carty was caught Bramble off Raymond Reefer without scoring. Jamal Hamilton is there, not out on 32. Jason Peters, as a matter of fact, Jamal Hamilton is now on 36. Jason Peters is not out on, was caught Anthony Bramble of Viesame Pramore for 2. Jake Taylor caught Anthony Bramble of Keon Joseph for 1. Damien Jacobs was bowled by Neil Smith for 12. Keswin Archibald was bowled by Reefer for 1. Quinton Boatswain was bowled by Neil Smith without scoring. And Sheena Berridge is there, not out on naught. Bowling so far for the Guyana Jaguars: Keon Joseph 13 overs, 34 runs, 2 wickets. Raymond Reefer 13 overs, 50 runs, 2 wickets. Neil Smith 12 overs, 41 runs, 2 wickets. Viesame Pramore 29 overs, 55 runs, 3 wickets. Christopher Barnwell had 7 overs for 6 runs, he didn't get a wicket. And Devendra Bishu bowled 15 overs for 57 runs, and he did not get a wicket as well. Score is on 254 for 9, 254 for 9, with the rain falling down here at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. So I was trying to engage you. I was asking you, what do you think that the Leeward Islands need? Is it their batting? Is it their bowling? Do they need changes in both departments? What should the Leeward Islands be doing at this stage?
Well, with a score, first inning score of 154, it would certainly suggest that they also need to strengthen the batting, and also second innings after such a good start, 100 and they had an opening partnership of 152. Right, 152 runs, and to see that 9 wickets after you have only accumulated another 102 runs, it suggests that you are having some failures in your batting department. So certainly you would think that the batting needs to be strengthened. Unfortunately, they don't have the services of a Rakeem Cornwall for the next few matches, so that certainly is out of the question in terms of his availability. So they certainly, having someone like Terence Ward in the squad would have certainly helped, because he has shown that he can bat a bit. And Nino Henry, who is a fast bowler, can also bat a bit. Now, bringing Nino Henry in for one of the fast bowlers, it can help to strengthen your batting, but does it keep your bowling strength or strengthen your bowling attack, right? Then the other thing is, you also would need to look at maybe your bowling. Do you want to give the bowlers that you had in this game a second opportunity to show what they have? We saw that Colin Archibald showed some brilliance at times. We know that Sheena Berridge is a workhorse, and he has been doing well for the Leewards over the past few years. The inconsistent bowler, I thought, in the first innings was Quinton Boatswain. Even though he certainly has talent, he has pace, but he did not keep a consistent enough line to trouble the Guyanese batsman as often as I thought he should have. Then you have Damien Jacobs. He didn't bowl badly at all. However, Jake Taylor didn't show much penetration. He was very defensive. So maybe a Terence Ward coming in for a Jake Taylor, if Terence Ward is fit, would be on the cards. It certainly is going to strengthen the batting, and it also, I think, would strengthen the bowling. So I think they need to consider a couple of things. Amit Jangu also is out of the squad, so they may want to consider him for one of the top order batting positions, maybe in place of a Jason Peters, or maybe even a Casey Carty, who has really fallen off quite badly over the second half of last season and now this season.
I look at the Leeward Islands batting, and when you look at it from Jake Taylor come all the way down, the Leeward Islands can consider, you can almost consider that the Leeward Islands are only playing right now with six batsmen, 6 top order batsmen and all the others look like tailenders, including Jake Taylor. Jake Taylor has not shown in this match, at least, that he can stick around as the addition to the batting.
Exactly.
So I am suggesting that the Leeward Islands have to also look at their batting. People like Casey Carty, who continues to fail, even Jason Peters has not looked the part in this match here. Maybe it's time for the Leeward Islands to look to someone else. But I commented earlier to Jack off the air, though, when we were speaking of the air, who is the Leeward Islands going to go to?
Yes.
Because Raheem Cornwall is not available.
Saunders.
And so on. So is it? Are you saying that Raheem Saunders is an option for the Leeward Islands?
Well, you know, sir, I would want to think he should be an option. Last year in the Leeward Islands 50-over tournament, he had a dynamic tournament. He didn't perform.
He had a good tournament in the Leeward Islands tournament, but when he stepped up to the Super 50,
yes, to the Super 50.
he did not look the part.
Right. But I'm wondering if, given the opportunity to play in a 4-day situation, if he can turn his fortunes around at the higher level.
But when we look at these players, they've been given chance after chance after chance. So, isn't it time for somebody to argue that there should be some young blood coming from somewhere inside the Leeward Islands? And if we're not finding the young blood, what is the problem with the Leeward Islands system?
That's a great question. We have, I would want to believe, yes, we do have young blood. I don't know if you remember, if you witnessed to a game between, I think it was Antigua and Anguilla, where there was this young left-handed batsman who showed a lot of character, you know, was willing to take on the faster bowlers of the Leeward Islands. You know, he took on Alzari Joseph and so forth in that match. Yes, it's a 50-over tournament, but I don't know, maybe some of these players should be looked at and maybe brought into camp and tested to see if they may have the mettle to play at the higher level. Sometimes some of these fringe players that we think may not make it at the top level are the ones that may surprise you. Take case in point, we saw that Trinidad and Tobago scored 404 runs in their first innings.
460 for 4.
Right, 460, and their top two, the 2 century makers in that game were 2 players that they brought in from the West Indies developing players squad that won the 50-day tournament. So some of these players might just be hungry and ready to take the bull by the horn and show that they're worthy of playing at the top level.
So the Leeward Islands will definitely have to have a look at their squad. I feel the balance, how the squad is now, is not the right balance. I think the tail is too long, and with the abilities that are being shown by the tailenders for the Leeward Islands from Taylor and Archibald, Berridge, Boatswain, and the likes, none of them are showing us that they have the ability to contribute anything significant down there. And I think Coach Stuart Williams will have to look seriously at that, because as much as yes, they look okay bowling, and I'm saying okay because they were not necessarily mightily impressive, because the Guyana Jaguars were able to pile up a fairly decent score, 388. But the Leeward Islands will have to look at that. But Vinci, I'm asking, where are the youngsters from the Leeward Islands? Because we're here and you're calling names and you're just calling over some of the older names that we know. You're saying Raheem Saunders. We know Amir Django is a youngster who is there, and my thing is that if you pick somebody like Django as a franchise player, you should play. That's an opinion that I hold. But where are the youngsters? Where were the Ross Powells? Where were the Kofi Jameses, the Tyrone Williams Juniors? Where were the youngsters from Montserrat, the Sawandi Whites? Where were those from Anguilla and Nevis and St. Kitts? Where were the youngsters for the Leeward Islands? And
that's a question that we'll have to put out to the administrative body and the selection body of the Leeward Islands Cricket Board. But you're quite right. Are they saying that these youngsters, the names that you have called, are they saying that maybe they may not have performed in the tournaments that they were made available to play in, and so therefore they have not shown themselves ready to play at this level?
But can you say that they have can you say that they've performed in the tournaments that they've been asked to play in, and have made themselves available? I don't think so.
No.
I don't know any of the youngsters that are breaking down that's breaking down the door of the Leeward Islands.
I don't know of any neither.
So I am suggesting that there is a crisis in the Leeward Islands in terms of quality players, and we saw even in the Leeward Islands tournament that a majority of the teams came with old tested and tried players in that tournament and not featuring the young people. So maybe now is the time for us to talk about a development plan for the Leeward Islands. The players are back onto the field after that break. 254 for 9 was the score when the rain break came. The covers were on and off in a flash, and the Rosemen have disappeared. The sun is back out in all its brilliance, and from that last delivery of the over, Hamilton was able to get on strike. And again, the Guyana Jaguars are going to spread the field for Hamilton, and it's going to be Neil Smith who is going to be bowling to him. So the field is spread, fully spread, just a slip as a close-in fielder. And Smith begins to move in now from our commentary box, and he's in and bowls to Hamilton, and Hamilton is driving, takes the hand off the bat as he was driving that one. He left the bat in the air, came out to the fielder at the long off position, wide long off position, and there is no run. Didn't even attempt to score on that occasion, so it continues. As we also want you to know that West Indies is playing against Ireland. Ireland made 203 all out. Hayden Walsh getting 4 wickets in that innings there. Hayden Walsh Jr. of Antiguan fame. Here is Hamilton backing away and playing this one out into the offside field. Just jumping in line. Didn't move his feet anywhere forward. Just jumping in line and playing it with the bat out into the point region, and there is no run. And in reply, West Indies are 132 for 3 in the 24th over of that run chase. So West Indies on their way with that one, 132 for 3 in that encounter there. And of course, the Irish, the West Indies are trying to put a 3-0 whitewash on the Ireland team in this one-day series. Hope was LBW to McCarthy for 6. Evan Lewis is still there, not out on 79. And remember, in the first encounter, he was going for that century and was left not out on 99. He would want to certainly do better in this one. Ambrose was caught Tucker of Simi Singh for 6. And Brandon King was caught Tucker of McBrien for 38. So the not out batsman is Puran on 2, and he's there with Evan Lewis, who is on 79, 132 for 3. The West Indies run chase there in search of 204 for victory in that third and final ODI that's been played over there in Grenada. The field is still spread here as the Guyana Jaguars captain just came down and had a word with Neil Smith. He's bowling to the Leeward Islands captain in Jama Hamilton. And Hamilton is the last recognized batsman for the Leeward Islands. As a matter of fact, just 1 wicket the Guyana Jaguars are searching for. Sheena Berridge is there with him as he just holds up play a little bit. The bails fell off, and he's just doing a little bit of sorting out the bails. I'm just trying to fix it. The umpire Smith coming just to supervise and make sure that the stumps are in order. He looks up and sees that Smith is ready. The field is spread of everyone on the boundary except the slip. Here is he running in to bowl to the batsman outside the line of the off stump, wide outside the line of the off stump. Can't reach that one is the batsman in Jama Hamilton. And so now the captain is signaling to all of his players to come in, and they walk in unison, and they're going to just all walk into a short position. So what was a deep point. Now comes the short point, short extra cover, short mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, man forward of square. The only man staying out is the man down on the fine leg boundary. So all the fielders are in as Smith comes in now to bowl to Hamilton, wide outside the line of the off stump, and really should have been called wide. He reached all the way out for it, almost at the edge of the popping crease, couldn't get there, and the ball going through to the wicket keeper, and Hamilton stares down at the umpire, thinking that that one really should have been called wide. The Guyana Jaguars players are showing him the mark of the ball and indicating that it was just about on that wide line. I thought that one was wide. Should have been called wide as well.
I thought the umpire could have called a wide, especially that it was bowled with intent not to keep the batsman, give the batsman an opportunity to even try and rotate the strike. However, the ploy has worked for the Guyana Jaguars because their interest was not to give Hamilton an opportunity to get to the to the other end to face the bowler in the next over, and give the bowler every opportunity at Berridge so that they could knock over and finish the innings.
So it's going to be Reefer who is going to continue, and he's going to be bowling to Berridge. Berridge with the number 77 on his back, just waits and keeps the bowler waiting. Reefer begins to move in now. He's stopping as he was getting closer to the stumps. Reefer's had issues with his rhythm all day. Let's run up.
Yeah. But then more, I wanted to ask if you were able to catch any part of the game, West Indies versus Ireland during the day, during the morning session.
I certainly did take in my full share this morning. I watched as much as I could, yes.
Yeah, I think, I think the West Indies bowlers did a very creditable job, but when I looked at the returns that young Hayden Walsh Jr. had, I think he bowled particularly well. Yes, he was gifted a few wickets, but he got some balls to turn, and there was a googly that he bowled to one of the batsmen.
And bowled him completely. Didn't read it at all.
Oh, yes.
And that was a very good one. I'm very happy. Here is he striking him on the pad. There's a loud appeal, not out, says the umpire. The Guyanese thought that they had their man.
Yes.
I think that it might have pitched outside the line of the leg stump.
I believe that might be his saving grace.
I think that might be the consideration for umpire Verdane Smith there, because that ball kept low. It struck him on the pad, but it appeared to me as if it was pitched outside the line of the leg stump. Left arm bowler coming over the wicket, left arm over to the right-handed batsman. That one might have just been pitching outside the leg stump.
I see the umpire indicating to the bowler that, indicating down towards the leg side area, yes, that he may have pitched outside.
I think it did, and the rule is that once it's pitched outside the leg stump, it should not be given out leg before. So Berridge survives, but you can see what the Guyana Jaguars are trying to do, and Berridge will have to find a way to get bat onto those balls, and on that occasion he didn't get the bat anywhere close. He was literally just padding up. Here we watch as this is Reefer into him, and this time he gets bat onto ball. Another delivery right up. This time that delivery looked to have pitched in line with the stumps, and he got the bat down with it, played it back along the pitch for Reefer to field his own bowling, and there was no run. So 254 for 9, the total for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, and that has been the score since before we had the rain break. Here we watch as Reefer is in, and Berridge sees one that's bouncing outside the line of the off stump, raising the bat and allowing it to go into the gloves of the wicket keeper, and there is no run. I think it was Berridge that shouldered his arms. One of them shouldered his arms in the first innings and got bowled down. So I was very nervous when I saw him doing the same thing here.
And I think I don't expect that Hamilton will be taking any singles in this over. 4 balls have already been bowled, and I believe that Hamilton expects him to negotiate the other 2 deliveries.
He just came down and probably said that to him. Just survive these 2. one outside the line of the off stump, so he survived one, as Hamilton just asking the umpire to go and have a word with Berridge. The conversation will say something like, you know, just this one, just one ball, just block it. That's all I wanted to do, just stop it. At any cost, just stop the ball, don't get out. And Berridge still looking a bit nervous out there. So he too has to work on his ability to bat. Doesn't look to be very good with the bat, and in this modern day of cricket, you need the bowlers to be able to can hang around. Here is he edging and caught behind. Just when the captain spoke to him about not getting out, Jamal Hamilton turns in disgust and just walks away, because that one was wide outside the off stump. He flashed at it, the edge found, catch was taken. That's the end of him. We see rain coming again in the distance. I'm sure that the covers are going to be called on because the rain is coming, but Leeward Islands Hurricanes, they've been bowled out for 254. The last one, Berridge, going caught bramble off the bowling of Reefer, and did he score? Not certain if he scored. I think
that is very laughable, you know. I mean, he was expected to stay there to negotiate that final delivery. Having the bowler bowled that delivery wide of the stumps, and I don't know what Berridge was thinking about, because he slashed hard at that, and all he managed to do was get an edge through to the keeper. He shouldered arms for deliveries that were closer
to him. That one was
he got the one.
That one was a wide delivery from literally a wide delivery.
And as you said, the captain just turned in disgust and walked away.
Yeah, he didn't even wait for him. Didn't even look at him.
The verdict.
And then to add insult to injury, as soon as they've gone off, there is a rain break, and the groundsmen are actually struggling to keep the covers onto the pitch. The wind is very strong here, and it has been very strong over the weekend,
days, yes.
and they're really struggling out there to keep the covers under control. It's almost
quite
funny.
amusing.
It's almost funny.
I see a youngster there in a blue shirt, and he's really struggling.
He's trying his best. Up to now, he's not been able to get the covers under control. He's going to need some more help from his part if they're going to get it on the pitch.
Okay,
looks as if they're finally going to get it there, but the rain is falling, and the Guyana Jaguars would need 21 runs for victory, 21 for victory over the Leeward Islands Hurricanes whenever play resumes.
And the only way that Leewards can save this game is through
a miracle,
atmospheric intervention.
If now that we have torrential rain, because the cloud is there, the rain is falling. But what we've seen happen so far is that the rain has come and gone very quickly.
And we have a very super draining facility here. So
certainly.
We don't expect that. We expect that once the rain holds up, that 21 runs that the Guyana Jaguars need to secure victory, they're going to go hard after.
And I don't expect somebody like Shanda Paul Hemorrhage to come out and waste any time. He's going to look to come and really look to get those 20 runs in quick time. But the rain is increasing here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. It's probably one of the biggest showers we've had all game, so this one might just take a little while before we have play live again. Well, let's just give you the Leeward Islands Hurricanes scorecard for this innings. Bunsen Hodge made 62, Kieran Powell 99, Devon Thomas 15, Casey Carty didn't score, Jamal Hamilton left not out on 37, Jason Peters 2, Jake Taylor 1, Damien Jacobs 12, Kezun Archibald 1, and Quinton Boatswain and Berridge, as they did in the first innings, did not score, both getting a pair of ducks in this match. Leeward Islands 254 all out. The Guyana bowling, Kian Joseph getting 2 wickets for 34 runs off of his 13 overs. Raymond Raymond Reefer 3 wickets for 55 runs of 15. Neil Smith 2 wickets for 41 runs of 13 to give him 8 wickets in the match, and he would be happy with that. Pramal 3 wickets for 55 runs of 29 overs. He bowled a lot. 7 overs for Barnwell for 6 runs, and Devendra Bishu, he had none for 57 or 15 overs. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, the Guyana Jaguars, they're going to be chasing 20 runs for victory. Right now, there is rain at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, so for a rain delay, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back as soon as the rain finishes.
What is that? Yeah, you can't leave. The man just couldn't attack me.
Something. Done.
Jackie Swab dog, you understand now?
Something.
No, I hear we said that just
Something.
The man come forward, leave alone, man, that's so cool.
Yeah, I have the level up.
You know why, man, what you got smash it.
I have the little same thing I guys with the previous. Okay, yeah, this was one of the most serious troubles we had. That's the water draining off.
That man come here, water, come here. The wind blow it off. 30 seconds, and the man. And it's go over there to clear and blow again. So you know, guys are coming and woof them.
One time.
I woof them, yeah.
They might tease them. Hey, I'm taking
Right, the man cook for out there.
That's a good question. Yeah. That's
She's a boss.
And I have a confidence on that. Yeah, I was working.
They're still up there?
Yeah, they still have to come back for them and know that for sure. So we have to see.
Well, we're supposed to get lunch today, so I believe she done a cook, so.
I feel, yeah. Otherwise, she would have come earlier. No. It's 3:30. We can't humble them when it's 6 or 4.
No, but I'm just saying that the match got done
Right, so I'll let you know.
soon, so. Anyway, 30 minutes, so I'll hold on, see if she comes. The rain.
Who knows whether the whole fire is
I'm saying,
for early lunch.
you think so, not with 30 minutes.
With 20 rooms. Why is Antigua weather so bipolar? Antigua? Antigua weather is so bipolar, like all women. It's a true thing, and you know it.
Well, when that comes through, that comes through and the feed.
The audio?
Yeah, no, not the audio, the chat.
No, you're good, man, you're good. Everything all right.
That's fine.
Everything good, man, everything.
understand? And she gave me a tour. We go to a football match, a little tournament. And in the tour, we were talking about, and she asked me if I've seen Shane Burton. I said, yeah, Shane Burton, the Antigua. She said, oh, because he's wanted now, he's a suspect in an armed robbery. The surveillance camera have him as one of the persons, they have the others locked up. But the surveillance camera, he is on there too. And he disappeared.
How do I get themselves in there?
He disappeared and said, come on, and come
Young people, what they do?
St. Martin and
What they do? They're satisfied. Now they need Jesus to it. No, but see, they need to go to church, they need, because listen, no way, Jose. He gave me a 2 biscuits. He gave me a body, anyway, say, me rap this. That's what I'm saying. How you train, how you see life.
You have to understand satisfaction.
anytime you hear your parents and teach you,
Contentment.
that big word there, and what from mommy just say, a satisfied mind. Mommy just always say that to me. Why? Here, we left everything quiet, I mean, here I did, go beg other people something, and I eat what we left that. You understand? So, for me days, if me not like what mommy left, like when we go secondary school, mommy just left for me lunch every morning. And from the kind of white girls in school until about 1:40 when we reach home. Because when we reach home, we lick it down,
Hey, look, me dog.
in our waist. In our walk, you go to school with people and see, you walk with lunch, you don't have money.
Me dog.
I'm going to put down $7.50 on the table Sunday night. Like tonight, I'm go home, you don't come put down $7.50. That are enough bus money for last me from Monday to Friday. At 75 cents each way.
Me dog, they tell me something the other day, right, Jack? She went,
150 a day.
she went mad
For 5 days.
with the class, right? And she had saved up some money, and so one day must be the final day also. She said she not have enough money to buy something. And this one of the students and their father offered she money, and she resists hard. So why did you resist the money? She said, he's not my father.
Well,
He's
training.
not my father. So I did not want to take the money. I think eventually she must have accepted that. suggested that he will stay.
Actually, let it run over. I want to see if you're right.
Yeah. Right? No, that's 4 players that are in white ball contracts but don't have any red ball contract, right? But yet you're telling me that they can play at that level. So if they were to join the test team, you realize basically you have a test team and a one-day team that's very, very similar.
How much time?
You understand where you're coming from?
Yeah.
You're not done yet.
Yeah, but they set up yet to that way. People are not done set up yet. They don't set up yet? No.
It's a wait.
Allow them to finish the
Oh boy.
I believe, right, that a white ball player is someone who who is a prepared red ball player who can make the adjustment.
My face cooled down plenty there.
No.
That's crazy. So you're not the
I don't believe that it takes more than 19.
No, I can keep it. If I buy a batch of grip,
And make them
I ain't
the
gonna come to
dedicated white ball players. And the intent is to make them play test cricket.
And even though you have the rare situations of David Warner, who would have come from white ball cricket into test cricket.
Well, but that's an evolution because he has dominated white ball to the extent where he is.
No, I'm saying that's an aberration.
No, not necessarily because his
different.
technique is dominant enough.
different one.
Right? And if you're dominating white ball, you can freeze. The difficulty is you seldom find players who would have been, because white ball is innovative.
She's not the virgin after all.
Different. It's
If
transformation.
you went past
When you're
100%.
learning the fundamentals of red ball,
Just
it's
to, oh my
difficult to
God.
introduce
And change
Oh my
the
God,
complexity
got bathroom light.
to a young player. And
Want
it
to turn it to
doesn't
warm?
become
Does it go to cold?
interesting at
Like,
is that the problem?
Is that not cool enough right now?
we're having? He would have to be
Money
interested
straight
at
up blue.
16, 17.
No,
so
that's
you're
more.
pushing them into
And
leagues
lizards
where
will
they're
love that.
playing
You can't get
different than the 2 inning games you play in school.
Oh, man.
They're playing T20.
Oh, that's crazy.
Different than the
That's what you call dead.
2 innings you play
I'm surprised that they last so long. I step on
You're playing
The barbecue.
T20.
Meats and
Different
greets.
leagues around the world. So you're not really preparing yourself
Because
for the normal version.
this is the smallest size battery they have.
Get
They
my
have
very
one
good
tick.
example.
That's crazy.
They
How long does that last?
shoved into that.
A generation?
Way too early, showing that he had
Me don't know, you can tell me something.
the class to dominate.
Hey, motherfucker, there's just one way.
No, not necessarily the class.
Yikes.
You don't have this.
Yeah, but Warner is a player who doesn't have the head enough
I'm gonna put
But I
on
to
mean-
this.
step into red ball.
Yeah, yeah.
But his
What
dominance-
part of I can't find it?
Well, ladies and
Say,
gentlemen,
young people don't
I
listen
think Paul is
nowadays.
one of those players who could
Like a
Paul has
plug
only
and
problem
I don't think they've ever
Oh,
given
plug
it
it
that.
on.
I don't
It-
think-
it-
Paul has only
But
problem. Said he wanted to play.
Direct.
Yes,
So you use your
His
batteries.
only problem is
Batteries make it the wireless.
he has not been dominant.
Honestly,
in any
I would just have this for the memes in my setup.
But you know,
You know what would be cool?
Here we go.
Getting a Raspberry Pi. Running
I know, but he's not
Fortnite
dominant
on a
enough to show
Raspberry
that he's
Pi.
prepared to do
or a
the
Arduino.
deal
And then
at
plug it
the red
into
ball
it.
level.
And then get a
He's not
battery.
dominant enough.
Yeah. The imagination.
When he's playing, he's bowling and batting.
Finally,
Well,
now
it's
Jesus
not
Christ.
You can't really say that is good.
He is coming.
So if you're going to be an all-rounder, ready to complete test cricket,
I don't.
you have to show you can get people out in test cricket.
I'm not really if they're going to play as an all-rounder.
That's
Why do you
Even
think
though he can bowl,
Why would you
but
play that fast?
not penetrating enough, but I think he has.
Never from
He can bat enough to play that.
I can see it off in the
Number one.
Whoa,
Well, let's have that
T6.
discussion here because you have to explain out to me why is it my
I'm on your
seven?
question to see the
Why is
T6
it-
and
Why is it my
the Rebel series and the...
Seven.
You know that's the
my
best
bats are full.
for
Right, that, no.
budget.
That my back in here.
Apart from the one that
Of course,
matters.
and number 7.
In the game here.
India versus West Indies.
Yes.
That my back is at 7.
Here, but I think generally speaking,
The new 90
My back is at 7.
This is better.
Well, I may have. I said the thing is
The new 90 is better.
commentary.
Oh,
Shama books came at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The game.
Bro, change some before he yes, change back before it might
Imagine,
I'm saying,
imagine the players are, legit, imagine you are selling your supervisor or something, and they're like, okay, so you come with a microphone.
we got him a treat.
No, they're going to
say what you say.
you come in at 5 o'clock.
We got him at 7:30.
I was like,
Hope in that
you
match.
want
You remember Shell go back to that 6 in that game?
my
When
mother,
they brought in Hope,
No, that was because
and there was an imbalance. In the fact that the selection, there was an imbalance in that.
well, yes, but before that.
Because they
Is this fall high enough to
was
keep
a
the
match
so when they even look inside of
specific
it,
move to ensure that she was
So she basically, she could get a helmet and stereo on
I don't
her
think they would go that far.
alarm or steering wheel an
They
engine.
didn't want to,
But because
they didn't want, they were never going to do that. Hey, tap on the window.
fair enough. But how much have accepted
we swear and it's fun. It's not even
for
improv.
them not to play?
No, but
That's the
even
only.
if you want to
Actually, no, if you're keeping it there.
even Hope was
Express against one way.
Hope should have been dancing.
And three, like he usually does. And so I thought, why disrupt the balance?
So you have to understand that what they were doing was not worrying about Hope's
I
team.
do call me.
They were trying to figure out
asking where
how the Hope can that.
she's not.
And what we saw was a colossal mess.
You can't
Brooks should never have told me that I don't hold the heck on you.
5 o'clock?
She is watching that.
Hamilton should have made his debut.
Yes, no, I would agree with you. They were never going to say
So to me, it's just like a team meeting. Captain comes to Hope, look, you take the jobs to me. We get books in the side and we keep all the special scheme. You don't think so?
Don't make it that simple.
No, not this
one. It even more simple.
It's more
They were never, the most simple, they were never going to happen.
So then, she had to be.
Yes.
Had to be.
So that's what you see it. And you're twisting your team to bring a keeper,
She's coming
to
out.
bring in another batsman.
She was asking you what the
Exactly. Well,
So, and
you
if
know, when you had to come up with
If you're bringing Brooks, when you have your best batting prospect, so you say, Pet Michael, and you show him at 7 to bring Brooks in, then you have no clue what you're doing.
so Pooran should be playing test cricket.
Yes. Yes.
And we have a leg spinner who should be playing test cricket too.
In watch.
I do call him.
Huh?
I do
Oh,
call
it's not good.
It's watch it out.
I mean, I would be surprised.
Well, for streaming,
I'd be
if you're streaming
surprised if
games,
watch doesn't bring
the focus would be nice.
Yes.
you
By
got
this
to be,
year.
you can't serious.
What I would like to see you do, go back and play some football.
Someone?
First
Why is
class.
it so concurrent? Is it like
You don't necessarily
legit
have
for
to.
like
You see
sport
what-
like this?
You see what he just did in that game?
Or is it the...
Which one, the one today?
No, the game anyone.
Oh, the 40 something, yeah.
See, this is the guy that loves to bend heads.
No, man, kill that.
I know, but it's like
When the last time Ben tested
Listen,
it,
what I'm making is this. See that game?
Yeah, the
That's on screen protector.
He's signaling to them that I'm knowing my game and you
and
think.
just the ball.
So now they're reevaluating this without saying
me?
that guy must be a performer.
I have enough stress in my
Because I was asked this, and hence the reason why I said, should there really be a separation of players in red bar and white bar? Now, again, you have those fringe players that are suited maybe for a specific aspect of the game.
Let's go, Vinci.
But if you're a good cricketer, you should
Vinci,
be
you're going live.
Vinci, stop talk.
At the certain stage.
Hey, I get the boy in the feelings. Get in the emotion.
Them on.
Let's go, guys.
We started at 15.
That's correct.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are live.
And welcome back to the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium here in Antigua and Barbuda. It's the Leeward Islands Hurricanes versus the Guyana Jaguars. It's the final day of the regional Super 50 match between these two teams. Before we had the rain break, the Leeward Islands Hurricanes were bowled out for 254 runs, which means that the Guyana Jaguars need just 21 runs if they're going to achieve a victory in this match. We took an early break because of rain, and there are still some clouds around, and rain all around the stadium. None here at present, and the ground staff has already mopped up from the rain break. The players are out. We're just waiting for play to start, and you tend to think that the Guyana Jaguars, with the rain around, are going to try to be very positive in their approach to getting these 21 runs.
Yes, I certainly agree with you. They're not going. I don't think they should take any chances. It's only 21 runs. It's difficult to see that they would lose their way to make those 21 runs.
First delivery, they get one of those required runs as this ball comes down for buys, for buys down to the fine leg region. Ball going down the leg side from Sheena Berridge, not taken cleanly by Jamal Hamilton, and one on the board. Touchdown, and Shandapal and Shandapal Hemraj are out there at the wicket for the Guyana Jaguars team, and so they are going to be trying to see if they can get these 21 runs needed and get the Guyana Jaguars off to a winning start in this year's tournament. Berridge is in to bowl to Hemraj, and Hemraj gets on top of a delivery, trying to work it into the mid-wicket region, not timing it well. The fielder moving from square leg into the mid-wicket region does the fielding, and there is no run. So 21 runs needed for the Guyana Jaguars to complete a victory. The Leeward Islands resistance early today came from Damien Jacobs and Jamal Hamilton, but once that partnership had gone, the Leeward Islands capitulated very quickly and given the Guyana Jaguars only 21 runs for victory. So that partnership that I spoke of between Jamal Hamilton and Damien Jacobs was 43 runs off of 107 deliveries, and Jacobs contributing 12 runs in that partnership between himself and Jamal Hamilton. Here is this delivery, cut away, and it's going down to the point boundary for 4. Short and wide outside the line of the off stump, and Hemraj was quickly onto it, cut it past the fielder standing at that square cover position, and the ball raced into the backward point boundary, and he picked up 4 runs.
Yes, 4 well played runs, short outside the off stump, and as we said, that these batsmen are going to take a positive approach to getting these runs. Should not be any difficulty in doing so, and he capitalized on that bad delivery and picked up 4 good looking runs.
5 without loss, as we see Sheena Berridge striding in from the Sir Andy Roberts, and he's in and bowls to Hemraj, and Hemraj thought of playing an aggressive stroke and then pulling the batting line, that one, and allowing it to go by into the gloves of wicketkeeper Hamilton, and again there is no run. So Leeward Islands Hurricanes, middle order, again failing because they got a good partnership at the top of 152 runs of 277 deliveries between Munson Hodge and Kieran Powell. Powell eventually making 99 off of 131 deliveries, and Munson Hodge getting 46 off of 146 deliveries. Here is this delivery driven again past the mid-off fielder. He's going to get runs here. Won't carry to the boundary. They come back for an easy second run. So 2 more to Hemraj, 2 more to the total. The Guyana total, they have raced on to 7 without loss at the end of the first over.
Yes, just a gentle push into the offside, getting the ball past the mid-off, and again running 2 good-looking runs. The batsman here, Shandapal Hemraj, not trying to play the ball too hard, just pushing it out into the offside and getting those 2 runs. And so far, he has faced the majority of the strike. I think Shandapal may have faced the first 2 deliveries.
First delivery.
Right, yes, because the first one was a wide. And they look very comfortable out there at this moment.
Yes, they look very comfortable. We'll see how Shandapal approaches the batting Remember, in the first innings, he batted for a very long time, and he was eventually out for 60 runs of 243 deliveries. Don't think that he's going to want to face that many deliveries to get the remaining 14 runs that are required. So we will see how he approaches the situation from his standpoint, as it's going to be Quinton Boatswain who's going to be opening the bowling for the Leeward Islands in the second innings for Guyana. He was a short delivery, and he's getting on top of it and playing it into the backward square region. The fielder rushes around, they can't score. So the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, a short delivery to start to Chanderval from Quinton Boatswain, and Chanderval looked a little bit uncomfortable with that ball rising into his rib cage area.
Yes, it was a bit uncomfortable, but he still managed to play it with some measure of ease and not creating any danger. But now we've seen them move the guy from the square leg. Well, now he was put into a forward short leg position, but now he is backed off quite a bit.
They want the helmet. I think Captain Hamilton is just indicating that they want the helmet. So looks as if it's Nino Henry, the
emergency fielder.
Yes, the emergency fielder bringing the helmet on. So they're going to put the short leg in the conventional way under the helmet, and using the
Devon Thomas.
See, it looks as if it's going to be Devon Thomas. Yes.
I think Jason Peters might be dreading the position, because in the first inning he was hit twice on the helmet while fielding in that position.
Certainly wouldn't want to be back there. Thomas is under the helmet now, and here is Chanderval getting on top and pulling at a delivery, another short delivery from Boatswain. So Chanderval looking as if he's going to be aggressive as well. We saw him getting there and trying to smash that one somewhere in the mid-wicket region, and
the timing was off, though.
Yes, didn't get the timing right. Looked out of character as well.
Yes.
Didn't look
kind of cramped and choked on that shot.
Facing now has a similar stance to that of his dad. He's in, gets another short delivery, ducks under it, allows it to go by into the gloves of Hamilton, and there is no run. So
we see here that Boatswain has elected to take a strategy of bowling short pitch deliveries to the batsman. I don't know if it is by design or if it's just something that he's trying. I remember in the first innings we were commenting that they didn't take advantage of many short pitch deliveries, so I don't know if they're thinking that maybe this is a way to maybe take a 2 or 3 quick wickets.
Here is another short delivery, this time just about chest height, and just rocking back and allowing it to go through is Tajnarayan Chanderval. He is yet to score. 7 without loss. We're in the second over of the Guyana second innings. They need another 13 runs for victory, or 14 runs for victory, the Guyana Jaguars, and to jump off to an early lead in this competition with an outright victory over the Leeward Islands. Here is this delivery, just short of a length, and this time Chanderval is just blocking it back along the pitch for the bowler to pick up to field to his own bowling, and there is no run. So he's shown that he has the ability to bat for long periods. What I think he needs to work on is the ability to score as well, while being safe, also find a way to rotate the strike. Here is he facing up to Boatswain, another short delivery, another delivery ducked under by the right-handed batsman, and there is no run. So the end of the over has come up. At the end of it, the Guyana Jaguars, they are 7 without loss.
Yes, and this over was primarily over of short pitch deliveries. I don't know if I think in the first innings we saw Chanderval playing a false hook shot, and I think he may have been undone by a short pitch delivery in the first innings, and so maybe they're employing that strategy against him to see if they could pry his wicket out.
Might be a little bit too late now for that strategy. If they were able to dislodge him, it's probably only going to be academic before the Guyana Jaguars go on to take victory. You won't think that you're going to see the Guyana Jaguars losing too many wickets in chase of 21 runs based on their first innings performance. Here is Berridge, the start of over number 3, and Hemraj is covering up to a good delivery. One that started on about the leg stump and angled towards the offside. He just shuffled in line and playing it down on the offside for the fielder, posted at that short extra cover position to field, and there is no run. Still just, there are clouds all around, gloomy afternoon, as the Guyana Jaguars search for victory after the first break. So we've had just over 2 hours of play so far in this day-night encounter for this 4th and final day, and I don't think we're going to have too much more time here this evening. This is Berridge outside the line of the off stump. The batsman came across, sort of playing, and then just allowed it to go into the gloves of Hamilton, and there is no run. Jama Hamilton behind the stumps for the Leeward Islands, and he was very upset at the end of the Leeward Islands innings, having come down and had a chat with Shino Berridge about the last delivery, and then Berridge got the worst delivery of the over, and they got out from it. Here is Berridge in, and this delivery, the batsman is trying to force it away, and the offside doesn't make contact, goes into the gloves of Hamilton, and there is no run. The poorest delivery that was bowled in the over from Reefer, one that was short and wide and really should have just been left alone. He really had an almighty swing at it, edge forward, and was caught behind.
As we said,
it was really a terrible way to end the Leeward Islands innings. A delivery wide outside the line of the off stump. Again, the batsman doesn't have to play. Hemraj, the bright green helmet on, and is doing the job here for the Guyana Jaguars.
Yes, Denmore, it was quite laughable, his dismissal, because there he was earlier in the over, leaving the long deliveries that were closer to his off stump, and now he had to negotiate that final delivery to ensure that they continued batting. He played a wide swipe.
Hemraj, given 6 ODIs, played 6 ODIs for the West Indies team, only scoring 82 runs. That delivery, he's just leaving it outside the line of the off stump. Highest scores 32. So he didn't have any success at all in the ODI version of the game. He's somebody who scored heavily in the regional competition at the first class level. He's had 25 matches before this one, 47 innings, 1,280 runs. Here we watch as outside the line of the off stump and going wide, called wide by the umpire, and I'm sure that Hamilton is now, I see him glaring across to Carl Tuckett after that one was called wide, because he's having memories of that one that was bowled by Neil Smith that was literally wide outside the line of the off stump.
The one that denied him getting a chance to
get the strike. And we just saw when he took that one and saw the signal coming from umpire Smith, he looked across at Carl Tuckett and glared at him, and maybe in a sporting way Carl Tuckett's hand moved, and everybody's smiling. Here is this delivery. Hemraj is punching it through the offside. It's going to go close to the boundary. In fact, it stops just before it gets to the deep extra cover boundary, and the batsmen are able to come back for 2 runs. So 2 more to him, 2 more to the Guyana total. At the end of the over, Guyana, they have moved on to 10 without loss.
Yes, 10 without loss indeed, and they're easy going at this moment. We thought that they would have been making a faster dash at the 21 runs, but they're still taking a circumspect approach. The batsmen, I believe, do not want to just give away their wickets in this runs chase.
But
So-
there is no need to rush. the Guyana Jaguars have all evening to get the rest runs. We've only had 2 hours of this match on the 4th day so far, and so the Guyana Jaguars have a long period if they choose to snail about it to get these runs. Even if they finish the match now, it's pretty much evening here in Antigua and Barbuda. The beaches, or people would be looking to go home from the beaches at this time. So there is no need, there's no rush for the Guyanese to go anywhere, and I'm certain that their flight is not until tomorrow. So they can take their time about it if they wish to do so. We watch as Boatswain is about to start another over. Comes in and he bowls to Chandapal, and Chandapal is looking to pull this delivery. Another short delivery. He's decided to take on Boatswain. This time just getting it off the inner portion of the bat, the ball going down to the man at leg slip on the bounce, and there is no run.
Yes, he has decided to take on the bowler with these short pitch deliveries, but every time he has chosen to do so, the timing is not right, and he seems a bit sometimes cramped for room to play.
Boatswain is in again, and this time he is getting this delivery over the top of the backward point region for 4.
Yes.
Short delivery outside the off stump, and he just helped it on its way. The uppercut stroke over the top, didn't try to keep it down, and the ball raced into the wide third man boundary, picked up 4 runs.
Yes, 4 well played runs, and I think that's one of the dangers when you employ to bowl a particular way for an extended period of time. The batsman is going to now prepare himself for that delivery, and all he has to do now is pick the spots where he decides to play it. And in this case, that ball being outside off stump, Chandapal chose not to try and pull, but just to help it on its way over the slip cordon and got it away for 4 runs.
14 without loss is the total. So now the asking is right down to just 7. 7 needed for victory. He's around the wicket, and Chandapal is cutting again. This time over backward point, and it goes for 6. So he's decided to take on Quinton Boatswain. Short delivery coming around the wicket, and Chandapal rocked back and cut that one hard over the backward point region and picked up 6 runs.
Yes, and I guess he's showing us that he can also score when given the opportunity to. But as I said, if you show a batsman that you're going to do something, that batsman can prepare for you. And in this case, the ball was not very well directed. It was outside off stump, and Chandapal just decided to unleash the full fury of that cut shot and took it over the boundary ropes for 6.
So, just 1 run now to get for Guyana to achieve victory. Here is Boatswain in to bowl to Chandapal, and Chandapal is getting on top of this one and edging it through the slips and down to the third man boundary for 4. That brings up the end of the match. The Guyana Jaguars winning by some 10 wickets here. They achieve the 21 runs needed, getting to 25 runs, getting to 24 without loss, and the Guyana Jaguars winning by some 10 wickets. The runs coming in this over from Quinton Boatswain.
Yes, very good win for the Guyana Jaguars. They showed that they were the better team in this match, having compiled that 388 first inning score, and then bowling out Leeward's for 154 in the Leeward's first chance at bat, and then limiting the Leeward Islands Hurricanes to 254 in the second innings, after they would have built up 152 first innings or first wicket partnership. So they have shown that all around they have played the better cricket and certainly deserve to win this match.
So Guyana Jaguars 388 all out in their first innings, and 24 without loss. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes 154 all out and asked to follow on 236 for 5. The Guyana Jaguars winning by some 10 wickets here against the men from the Leeward Islands. The match, the Leeward Islands not playing very well in this encounter, and maybe just to give us his take on the situation, what would have taken place. Darwin Telemark, give us your summary of the Leeward Islands and Guyana's performance in the match here today.
Well, it's a good result for Guyana in our opening game. They are certainly on track to try to repeat their winning ways at this level. I think, however, I just want to, and the game is over, I just wanted to introduce a thought here that maybe the Guyana team could have thought about going into bat after the first innings. One of the things that's missing in regional cricket is the opportunity for a batsman to get some batting done. And I would almost, at the risk of saying having a draw, prefer to have seen batters gone out there and bat. I was happy to see Kieran, Pollard, and Hamilton in the second innings come through and batted well for their teams. However, when you're looking at an environment where the West Indies team themselves, which is the reason this showcase is on, is looking for batters. When you get an opportunity, you get a team out. And the Australians have started doing that as well. They don't just put the team back in if there's a follow-on. They go in and they get their batters to dominate the bowling. It's psychological as well. It gives your batters an opportunity to get some additional batting. And the outcome today afforded the Guyanese batsmen the opportunity to score only 24 runs, shortening their exposure, shortening their ability to impress the selectors. Maybe as this tournament emerges and continues, we could probably see teams start to think a little differently. Winning is awesome, it's great, but this is a tournament where selection is the ultimate victory. And I think that's really a thought that I wanted to have.
You might have to change the thought process, though, of the coaches and in the region, because I think things like that would have to be a shift in terms of mindset. A lot of the times we find that the folks in the Caribbean, they like to win, and they choose to win over, as you said, giving somebody an opportunity to develop their skills. How do we change the mindset? What would you think would be required to get teams to start to think of it in that fashion, think about the players and the players doing well rather than the team racking up points? Because we've seen before, and I said it earlier in commentary, that Guyana one time won by a whopping 50 odd points maybe, racking up 100 points in the competition, but then have nobody to show in the West Indies team for all the points that they would have gained and the championship that they would have won. So how do we get teams to think about this in a different manner?
Well, definitely, I think the strategy has to be revisited. And ultimately, the void in West Indies cricket right now is our batting. We're struggling in that category to a large extent. We're struggling because our batters aren't staying in the crease long enough. They're facing a very dominant bowling attack. But the main thing is they're not out there long enough. So I still believe Guyana could have won the game if they batted a few hours deeper into the second inning.
I was suggesting, I think yesterday, that the Guyanese should have gone back in to bat, because I was thinking the same like you, that it would not have mattered in terms of the time, because as you can see, the game has finished with a lot of time left today. And I felt that if the Guyanese had batted even 2 sessions yesterday to give the batsmen an opportunity, maybe somebody like a Vishal Singh who failed in the first innings, an opportunity to get some runs under his belt, give somebody else an opportunity to come and bat, then it would not have mattered in terms of the scheme of things, because the Leeward Islands would always have been under pressure. And so I do agree with you with that comment.
And by the way, there is, when you look at the Guyanese batting in the first innings, you don't really have a dominant figure. They all contributed, they got good starts, they did not move on, which should be a concern for their coach. As a matter of fact, if the concept was to help the batters go back in there and develop their game, a very progressive coach would have said, you're going back in, we're going to get at least the first top 4 to go in and see if they can put their head down, someone get 100. It would have put more pressure on the Leeward Islands batters. They would come in sometime today and they would have to try to defend something. It would probably have led to similar outcome, but even if you had gotten a draw in game, but the selectors would have seen 100 from Chandra Paul, Hamrach, or any of the other players, saying any one of them, then I think that would have bolstered the opportunity for the selectors to see more of the batting and for the team to have had besides that, it would have also challenged Leeward Islands bowlers a little bit more, because what they did this afternoon in bowling to 24 overs doesn't really help their game either. They would have been pressured a little bit more. And overall, while there is a victory, the course that the game took was too academic. It was almost 1 + 1 = 2. It's time that we start seeing some innovation in the way we think about our cricket and how we strategize towards bringing out a different end. And I believe that it would do well for teams to start listening to turn things around. You get a team out quickly after you score 400 runs, go back in, score another 250, give 2 or 3 guys a chance to go do their thing and expose them, and then put the pressure on the other on your bowlers now to execute within a certain time frame to see how they can up their game, as well as put pressure on the other team to see if they can stand the pressure.
We're going to have to leave it there for now. The match has ended. The Guyana Dragons winning by 10 wickets over the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, getting to the 24, they're scoring 24, needing only 21 for victory. And that is the end of the first round encounter. We thank you for listening to our coverage from Antigua. On behalf of co-commentator Jack Matthew, Vincey Bowen, of course, Darwin Telemac, and Anthony Iwoods-Martin, and of course, our technical director, Shamoy, Denmore Robert, saying thank you very much for listening to us from Antigua, and join us when cricket returns here. Good night.